I think we're live.
A councilman from Dearborn, Michigan is outraged over a 911 call. He wants to know why no charges have been filed against a police officer who admits to confiscating marijuana from suspects and then baking it in brownies. And once he and his wife were full and high, they thought they'd overdosed and called 911.
I think I'm having an overdose at the store with my wife.
Overdose of what?
Marijuana. I don't know if it had something in it. Can you please send rescue?
Do you guys have fever or anything?
No, I think we're dying.
Okay, how much did you guys have?
I don't know. We made brownies, and I think we're dead. Time is going by really, 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 really slow.
Well, instead of being charged...
Couldn't even handle it.
Perla, sorry. Instead of being charged...
All right, here we are. Podcast number 2 Wheels to Freedom. Podcast number 98. We're closing in on 100, Nick. What do you think about that?
I'm excited. I'm not, but I'm hearing two of you. One on YouTube, but two on this one.
Are you good now? Hello.
Let me see.
Are you good now? Or do you still have an echo?
Still got an echo. It's not showing up on YouTube, but I'm easily distracted enough. So if I hear two of you, it's going to be tough.
I'll change from live output. Is that better? Can you hear
Say
me
something.
at all? Is that better now?
A little. You kind of sound like a robot now, though.
What happened to MotoCo? They popped up as an option for like 2 seconds and then they disappeared.
I don't know. They heard three of you.
Hold on. Let me see. Network. There we go. We can add them in. They're in the... Oh, what's up? Hold on.
And then there were four of us.
Nobody can hear you live, I don't think, yet. Let me patch you guys in. We were just doing the intro, talking about what's going on here. So let me add your frame to our little scene here. Number 98, Nick. Did you think we'd make it this far?
Of course.
You did not.
I didn't know which one we were on. Yeah, it's Clint.
It's always me.
You sound like a robot, Clint.
You know, everybody likes listening to me bitch about the fucking sound.
It's good on YouTube, but it's hard to listen to here. And we've been talking for an hour, guys. We've been like prepping, and then all of a sudden... I'm not supposed to laugh when things go wrong. I get yelled at by Clint.
Well, can you guys hear each other normal?
Yeah.
Well, I can hear them good. Yeah.
Oh, here's why.
Got it.
Now how is it?
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. It's good.
See, guys, eventually I figure it out. It's only taken 3 years to get to this point.
Hey. Right.
98 podcast.
Well, you figured it out. That's all that matters.
That's right. Yeah, as always, we're brought to you by Stroker Industries. You can get the trigger for your gas cans so you don't spill everywhere. That's strokerindustries.com. Canvas MX. You can get 10% off of your order if you use the code FMXEast10. And boysen.com. We don't have a discount code with them yet, but you know.
Yet.
So what's up, guys? You guys are live now in front of everybody.
Yeah. Oh man, in the editing den or the some would call it a man cave, I guess.
In the lab.
Yeah. The lab. The lab.
I don't know if a bunch of computers is considered a man cave.
It's one computer. Yep.
Two screens.
Yeah. We're the big time,
In the backyard of my house.
Yeah. That's what you don't see. It's behind the garage.
Is that where all of us are right now?
Yeah, we used to both work in this space. It's about 72 square feet, let's say.
Yeah,
and then I ended up moving my stuff inside my house, so that way we're separated. You know, we're getting into too many arguments and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's easier to do dad life when you're in the house with your kid. You know.
And it's easier to be single. I don't have to have a kid.
We have the same dynamic here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mine they're moving too much, so I got to lock them out now.
Yeah,
the kids. Yeah. See, he doesn't have that problem. Yeah, he can't walk, but
just wait.
Man.
They interrupt, and Clint gets pissed. And
Dude,
it's
because they would burst into the room at the highest volume ever, like
That's
the
my
highest pitch. And I'm just like, what is that? And it's like, just, ah! I'm like, holy shit.
There's no.
Just
wait, dude. They're coming.
Well, you know that at the time, especially we had like 10 listeners. They had some headphones on maybe. And next thing you know, it was just screeching child in their ears.
Yeah.
Isaac had a wig. He was ready to bust in on this podcast today. And I'm like, no, because there's already 4 of us. That's enough right there to try.
We'll allow it with a wig.
Huh? We'll allow it with. Well, now he's half passed out. I already shot him down.
All right, I'm gonna roll your guys' trailer here for everyone.
All right. On.
Do I have permission to do this? Give us a ring.
You know, we work our butts off every day, and when you see guys kind of retire early, it's just all that training and riding and all that takes a big toll on you.
Basically, I just went back to my roots, getting in the water, going for a surf, going out and enjoying riding dirt bikes.
Actual trailer.
I give it my all and am relentless in my pursuit.
So I could punch it through.
I remembered saying in the ambulance that this isn't worth my life. But at the same time, when I got home, I'm like, yeah, I ride dirt bikes. Like, this is what I do.
I'm not trying to build the next world champion. I just want to build a great kid.
A sport bound only by the limitations of those who have decided to balance on the fragile edge of success and failure. These are the stories of 8 riders who are willing to look in the mirror and say, whatever it takes. This is Moto.
Such a sweetheart, you know?
All right, we are back. All of us. I think everybody should be able to see us now. I was just warning you guys.
We came right back to you calling Tom P a sweetheart.
Yeah. He is.
We never said that.
He's such a nice guy.
Very nice. I didn't realize you liked to talk so much.
Calm down. Come on.
Then I had him on the podcast, and I was like, "Whoa, we just like would give him subjects, and then he would go."
Sounds like Tom.
That's what makes him. That's what makes him awesome, though. He'll talk to anybody, and he'll just give. He gives everybody equal amount of attention. It's pretty cool.
We have known him for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years or whatever. But this year, making This Is Moto, we spent a lot of time with him. And then Clint, as you know, he came with us to all of our like East Coast premieres. So we spent even more time with Turtle Tom. And he's a good dude, man. He means well, for sure.
So when you guys made the actual videos, did you go and camp out like Ocotillo and all that stuff, or?
No, we get hotels every night. So like his segment was done all across Utah. So we got a hotel every night. We're not really we used to do the camping thing, but it's so nice to be able to go home, reset, or not go home, but go to a hotel, reset, shower, charge all our shit, and just get ready for the next day, which is usually an early morning. So
van life, bro.
Oh no, thank you.
It's more convenient to camp on spot, but it's more difficult, if that makes sense. We used to, the first 6 years or 7 years that we were making the Moto movies, we'd be in a motorhome, and we spent over a month at a time in the motorhome every once in a while, and it's just it just adds for long days. So we figured if we were going to keep going, we'll go the hotel route, and it costs probably about the same because a motorhome gets 6.5 miles to the gallon, versus a Sprinter van getting 20.
But did you cook all your own food in the RV?
We cooked a lot. Yeah, we cooked a lot.
That's where you save the extra money.
Yeah, but it's so much work. I'll gladly pay.
You wake up at sunrise, let's say, or ideally you wake up at sunrise, you film, and then middle of the day you take your break, kind of reset, all that good stuff, and then you film till dark, and then you have to redo or offload all your footage and charge all the batteries, and then cook too, rather than just going out or now we have Uber Eats or whatever delivery service you want. So it's amazing, but it is more expensive for sure.
They don't have Uber Eats at Caneville, Utah, though.
Not yet.
No, what they have is a pretty cool motel, actually, really cool motel, and then one restaurant and one gas station, and all of the people that live in the town trade off. So they'll be serving one day at the restaurant, and then they'll be working the next day at the gas station or at the hotel or whatever. It's a trip. We get to stay in some really interesting places.
Have you boys been there? Have you guys been to Caneville?
No,
I haven't. No.
Yeah, dude, it's a trip. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
but it's cool. It's pretty cool. Hopefully one day you guys get the opportunity to go there. Yeah.
That's the only thing now. Being older, I'm like, if something were to happen, it's so far away to anything.
Look how mature he is.
Welcome to our filming life out there. It's it's intimidating a bit, just because Tom is incredibly good at being precise and not doing anything that he's uncomfortable with. But at the end of the day, all of the stuff he does in the segment, which is some really gnarly stuff, is comfortable with. So there's always something that could go wrong, and we've been really fortunate in that manner. But it's pretty scary to be out there for sure.
Yeah, people like to say that. It's weird. It's like he's a good enough rider that going there and riding that stuff is not that crazy. It is crazy, but he's just guys like that, and him and Raha and Jimmy Hill and all those dudes, Renner, are so good at riding. They've gotten themselves to a position where going and riding that stuff is not that crazy. I try to explain that to people, and they don't really, they think that anybody just jumps on a bike for the first time and just holds it wide open in the dunes. And I'm like, those people don't ride for very long.
No, right. And when you're standing on top of one of those cliffs that one of those drops that he hits, I mean, some of them, well, there's two of them, both of them are ridiculous, and you're standing up there playing it, and the one in particular, like, dude, I don't even know if we want to watch him do this. Like, I don't. He's our friend, and he could die. Like, I don't want to see this, but.
And the fact that he's so casual, and not just him, any of those riders, they're just so like, they almost know ahead of time, that it's mathed out and the dangers, like, even though the danger is extreme, they're super casual about it. Like, yeah, I'll just drop off of this cliff and, blah, blah, blah.
That's how you have to be. Like, I forced myself to be more calm as well, just because otherwise you'll freak yourself out. I know I would have. So I was just like, okay, just stay as calm as possible all the time, even though inside you're like, ah.
You got to be, but you also got to be like, all right, these guys are taping. So if I eat shit, it better get on tape. Like, super high quality.
Yeah. When we used to work for Moto the movie, like, the one time we were out at Cameville, for example, I mean, we filmed everything the very first time, and it was like, I don't know, it was just different. Like, it was like we only have one shot for them to do this drop or whatever it is.
High pressure.
Yeah, it was very high pressure. And this last time going out there with Tom, like, he almost hit everything first before we even turned the camera on. And it was that was the way to go. I mean, it's more dangerous for him because he's doing it, but he at least got really comfortable at it. And I think it showed in his segment, in the long run, essentially.
Yeah.
Dude, 100%. If I was him, I would have done the same thing. Run out there before you guys got set up and hit everything, and at least have it kind of like worked out, so that when you guys show up, he doesn't, crash or whatever. He's ready to start throwing some tricks. The other thing I would imagine it works for everybody probably similarly. If I ride something and then go away from it, when I go back to ride it, like, I'm better. The very first time I hit something, it's hard to, like, really ride it well. I need to go away and, like, compute it and then come back and ride it again.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like anything, shit, even when I'm editing, it's like some days I just get frustrated and then I have to leave. Wow, how did I not figure that out, or anything, right? Like, yeah. So we would always be there with him when he would test stuff out, but it was just such a casual environment that we tried to have with him, and we, like we said earlier, he's a friend of ours now, and we know how he works. And Tom, he's very calculated. So, I mean, we'll be looking at a cliff that he wants to get upside down on, and he'll hit it 20 times. And when we're waiting, you're like waiting for that shot, right? We're waiting for him to just get the shot and move on. And we realized that wasn't really the way that, certain guys function. Like Tom, for instance, like Chris Foster, he just sends it for some reason. He's an animal, but Tom's a calculated dude. And so, he'll hit it 15 times. And then all of a sudden, the 16th time, he goes upside down. And you're like, wow, all right, now it's time to start filming, and I think it just created a really good dynamic. And yeah, it's nice to see, like, it be casual but serious.
Yeah, for sure. You could tell he really likes putting in video parts. He gets his part of the sport right now, and that's what it is. And I mean, honestly, if you think about it, he's helping push the free riding segment of this sport 100%. Like, there's only a couple guys, Foster, Raha, Vinny Carbone, obviously, like, he doesn't get the press, but he's like pushing it as far as like underground, Twitch, and then Tom. Who else is pushing free riding? What's his name? Bradley Slums has got his own deal with the fucking base jump, but those are the guys pushing free riding.
Yeah. There's very few, and Tom's one of those. If not, I mean, I would say he's in the top three. As far as Raha, Axel,
Oh yeah,
Tom.
I forgot Axel and Bierman.
Yeah, and Barry. Oh yeah, I mean, so there's 5 really solid dudes that could show up and blow your mind.
But I feel like it's bigger than ever almost right now. You know what I mean? Like, it is pretty big. You know, free rides. I don't know. There's a lot of guys actually making money free riding, right? Which never used to be a thing. Exactly. It may not be a lot of money, but they're making money nonetheless. Right?
The level is so high.
It was 0.0 before. So if anybody's making a living at it, you know what I mean? It's good. I would say that Twitch would be the first person that probably transitioned into like a big enough name where he was getting sponsors he wasn't riding any shows at the time and he was just free riding and still getting paid, you know, but now there's a handful of guys doing it.
Yeah. Can you imagine if like, I was pretty young, but like the Ronnie Renner like free ride tour that they used to do, you know, like that, something like that now would be crazy.
It would be way bigger.
Oh, it's at such a different level. I mean, it's at a lot scarier level in a lot of ways. But yeah, it would be totally different. It was like you were like the rebel of freestyle when you went and did it back then. But now it's like the new age of freestyle in a way.
I mean, that was everybody's goal. There just wasn't an avenue to make money, and I'm sure. It's funny that it just has changed. They get, I guess, sponsor money because they put out such good content that gets good views, where it wasn't, you know, that didn't happen before. So that's why there was no avenue that way. Like they're just figuring it out. I'm sure some of the guys, I guess nobody's really built their own channel up huge. But if somebody built up a big free ride channel, like that's what the viewing was supposed to be, I suppose. But like I haven't seen anything by him. But if somebody really jumped on that and started pushing it real hard, I would imagine they could make good money off their YouTubes. You know, I guess Axel doesn't push his own.
You get a guy like Buttery, Connor Erickson.
There you go.
He's not a free rider by any means, but he is let's call him an influencer.
Yeah.
Right. And he's making money off of mainly his apparel, you know, from YouTube. And then you look at Axel Hodges. I mean, any video he puts out, you're talking a lot of views, but it's monster behind it.
That's what I was gonna say. But I guess he does the vlogs are his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So he's probably making. That's the thing. Once you get to the monetization size, which we're nowhere near it yet, we're at 350 basically. You need 1,000 followers. And then, which Moto Pimps just told me this, like 4,000 hours viewed in a year or something like that, which almost to that lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, there's really, I think back in the day, there used to be a lot more money in YouTube, like, and there still is, but it's pennies considering what it used to be. Yeah. You know, like I think. They say, well, if you meet all the qualifications, which like we at the MotoCo, like we do because we have, you know, our trailers and our videos and segments that we release and stuff. But it's like it's like $3 to $5 every 1,000 views, right? And if you really add that up, it's like it's not that, you know, you're not making a living solely off of YouTube unless you have just millions of views all the time, you know?
Yeah.
You got to be something other than a motocross fucking oriented something or other. Like just talk about random bullshit, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and then you would bring in, you know, sponsored products or companies pay you to have this in your blog. You know, there's other ways to make money off of it, but it's a weird one. I think it changed though a little bit in recent years.
Yeah. Yeah, and Axel definitely he has monster, but like he's a bad dude too, though. You know, like I think it's been pretty cool to see how, because it was easy to make that excuse before, like, oh, you know, monster, his brother, his dirt shark, blah blah blah. But then now it's like, well, he's just badass.
Yeah.
You know, the kid just sends it. It's crazy. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. No, he's got awesome style. I posted a video about that alley-oop he did.
Yeah. What did you think?
Uh-huh.
What did you think about it?
I think it's awesome. I actually thought that a long ass time ago, but like I can't even do regular whips, so fucking I'm obviously not the guy. So it never happened, you know. But
Right.
like I got shit from a little bit of shit from Clinton Moore, like he doesn't do alley oops, and I'm like, if you want to talk traditional BMX alley oop, that's it. Versus, I know what they're doing is way gnarlier, but it's like some kind of
yeah. I mean,
regardless, whether it was a real alley oop or not, it was still badass.
Oh,
He has big ass balls.
Yeah,
and you gotta respect that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
and he's got a way of making it look. I just has a. I hate to use like kids these days use the word like steez, you know, whatever. Like, it just looks good. It doesn't. Nothing looks. You know, he's just got such good style that was part of the reason that thing looked so sick was that it just looked good.
Here's the thing, though. Think about it. If you're Clinton Moore and you're doing an alley-oop 7-20, and this kid comes out and gets all this press with what seems like so standard to you.
Yeah.
Like,
but
you say something too. But it's just different.
What he did was so much bigger. Well, not
all over the industry.
Yeah.
It was bigger. It was smooth. It was like he greased it. Like it was a real.
It's a totally
what you'd
different
see on a quarter
thing,
pipe.
Though. It's a totally different thing. That's why it was smoother. You know what I mean? It's just totally different.
I think it's bigger.
Yeah. It was like Clinton's is like freestyle and Axel's was more free ridey kind of with them, but both being on a ramp, I guess. You know, they're both sick.
That's the question. If they go to X Games this summer and there's a quarter pipe best trick contest and they both do those tricks, even though Axel's trick is newer, the other one should still beat it, in my opinion.
Why?
100%.
Why? Because it's way more technical.
Who, Clinton's?
Yeah, and
is he doing that on a quarter pipe like that?
Well,
or is it more
18-foot? But I mean, here's another thing: are they gonna change the quarter pipe from 12 to 18 because Axel now has a fucking alley oop off it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can you do your trick on that bigger ramp, on the bigger setup?
He said you wouldn't be able to do it because it'd be hard to control the rotation.
I know, that's where you get into the shit talking.
But you can't just all of a sudden go, hey, guess what? And switch up the whole setup on somebody that's been doing it off the setup provided.
Maybe you can. I don't know.
Axel should have to do the alley-oop on the smaller one, right?
I don't think it'd look as cool.
Do you think Axel would actually would he do the best trick? Like, I think. Well, I don't know, maybe, but I feel like he's pretty good at staying in his lane a little bit. You know, like
quarter pipe best trick with that trick. Even though I think theoretically it's a hard sell for me, I think that it would still do well, and why not throw it into the arena?
Would they even have that be a thing? Because what are you gonna have, two dudes competing in it?
No,
you know what I mean?
Like, you have Pagez, you got a bunch of
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tom.
Yeah, you can do it. There's a guys that can flare. And
I feel like Axel's the one who's taking it like
players. You know, like I feel like it's.
But his was like smooth, where the other guys are all kind of like not a flat landing, but a more, you know, you don't have to grease it. And I feel like everybody's game is going to step up to that next level.
Yeah, but
because the giving, huh?
Well, they're spinning so fast. Like, how do you expect them? That's like saying that your front flip sucks because you don't land as smooth as a back flip. It's never,
I know, but
it's never going to fucking land as smooth as a backflip. Like,
look at BMX. Like, they used to do more like landing hard tricks, and then they started greasing it.
Yeah, true. Dude, speaking of that, Clint, did you, or both of you guys, did you watch the X game, the Winter X snow bike best trick?
Yes.
Yeah.
We actually live streamed it on here.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought it was a lot easier to flip one of those things.
Yeah. Not want to flip.
Right? Like,
no, they had them cut down, dude. Like, they were just like Brett Turcotte. What did he crash twice in a row or 3 times in a row on it? Almost. Oh, it was rough. Like they couldn't even hardly flip. Because I mean, they're not, like dude, it was crazy.
People have flipped them though, right?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man. I don't know what the deal was. I know we talked to Haslam last year, and I think he said that on a dirt bike you'll wait and just pin it real hard at the end, and it'll rip you around. And he said that they don't pull like that.
Oh man, because it was gnarly. Just especially guys like to see like Turcotte. I mean, he flips the sled obviously super easily. So it was to see him just weed himself like that. But those things look so awkward to land
Yeah, and that landing looked kind of fucked.
They
it was
had like a double knuckle, and then it looked soft when they came up after the snowmobiles.
Yeah, they fluffed it up, I think, so because they knew they were about to get gnar.
Yeah. Thank God they fluffed it up because somebody got crashed. Yeah, I mean,
so
Deegan did that landing back in the day when he almost died.
They were hosing it down.
Yeah, that was nice.
Literally almost died.
It was ice.
Right?
It was pure ice.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' relation in like Moto? Like how are you guys, how'd you get into Moto? Did you ride when you were young? You're laughing.
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah, we ride every weekend. We're in a really cool position because we don't it was just our dreams to end up in the motocross industry, and I guess we're there. Let's say that we are, right? Yeah. But we're still kind of like undercover, which is really cool. We both grew up riding. We got we met actually, it was my junior year of high school. It was my first job at Cycle Gear. Jason worked there, and that's how we met. And then we were college roommates after that, and kind of just like strung each other along through different jobs and stuff like that. And then Jason started working for Taylor Congdon, who used to do the Moto the movie series, and it just kind of escalated from there. We just, literally like fell into our laps in a way. Kind of. I mean, I guess, it didn't really, right? Because you make the opportunities.
Yeah.
Did you go to school for film?
I went to school for photography. Up until like 3.5 years ago, I hadn't even ever really filmed anything besides a wedding video for somebody. And so I was a photographer. You can explain your side.
I'm a business guy essentially I'm still a business guy. Obviously, this whole thing is a business, but Dom has helped me learn how to film, the past couple of years. So, I'm like business guy turned filmer, and it's worked out.
Yeah.
I kind of like when I used to go on all the film shoots with Taylor Congdon, and we would have like guys like Stephen Hagelstein come out, or photographers or whoever it was, Wes Williams, and I'm there like kind of being the bitch boy, I guess you could say, right? Like I was literally back in the motorhome, dude. I was cooking the meals for everyone, right? And getting all the food ready and all that stuff, and I would run around with like a GoPro at the time, right, and try to get like shots here and there, but that wasn't my job, even though like I wanted to do it, I guess. And so about, I think it was Moto 9, Taylor Congdon tore his rotator cuff, and so he couldn't even go on the film shoots because he had to have surgery, and he couldn't lift cameras and this and that. And it was literally like we just learned how to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Dom is definitely like knows a lot more about photography and videography and how to work the cameras and editing and all that stuff. And we wouldn't be talking without that. And I'm more so there I'm like the secondary camera guy now, and it's awesome because one thing I learned is if you have like we talked to Dean Wilson, actually, he's a perfect example. He had a Lululemon shoot, right? And they had like 15 guys show up to Glen Helen, and it was just supposed to be a quick little shoot. And they had their directors and the producers, and then they had guys that their job was just very easy ups around and cover the directors so they were out of the sun and this and that. And then you watch them film, and they're filming they don't know what motocross is, right? They don't know what looks cool. They're filming like the outside of a corner, right? Versus, you know, you just if you ride, you know what looks cool and you have the eye for it, right? So really, like, the missing piece for me was just learning how to use the cameras, and so yeah, it worked out. Now it's just us, so it's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what unions do.
Right. Yes. No, for real. Probably a union, you know, and it's outrageous, you know, because we could have done the similar, if not better, job within 2 hours of time. I mean,
and just us too.
We got the short end of the stick with Dean Wilson's shoot for This Is Moto. We filmed that whole segment in one day, cut down in probably less than 2 hours of filming.
Yeah, it was like 45 minutes of riding.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, you spend 2.5 weeks with Tom Parsons, 45 minutes with Dean Wilson, right? So,
and it wasn't to Dean. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't Dean's fault. It was weather, and he had to go do some other obligations.
Then he blew out a rear wheel. So if you actually watch the segment and look at his rear wheel, it's a KTM rear wheel, because they were all the Baker boys were out there at Spider MX that day. So yeah, he blew out a rear wheel and went to, I don't even remember who it was, but anyway, got a KTM wheel. So that took a moto out, and then the rain.
They fit.
What? Yeah, they're the same bike. They're close. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's there's a big contrast obviously between, you know, spending time like Tom or with Tom, you know, versus that. But the Dean one was actually kind of cool because he was just really open, you know, like he's always like the funny guy, and that's what everybody sees him as. But when we, you know, showed up, we were just kind of like, hey, we had the opportunity this year to be able to just kind of ask every rider, hey, like, what story do you want to tell? You know, what do you want people to see? And for Dean, he was like, I want people to know how gnarly the sport is. I'm like, sure, bring it on. So in his interview, you know, he was real honest about it, and just a real stark contrast to what he usually says. So it was, my man, it was pretty cool to see to see that. And luckily for us, it really brought the segment together as well, because, you know, 45 minutes of riding is just not enough.
Right. Yeah. So moving forward, like into future projects, like that's just, we learned that we can't do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? We can't just film a segment in one day or half a day or whatever it is. Like for our movies, they need to be bigger, you know, in a way or whatnot. So yeah, we learned a lot this year.
Did you have any like workout segment with him or anything? Did you follow him to the gym, or it was just at the
No, we did that with Zach Osborne. So it was just going to be so similar that we wanted it to be a little bit different. And I think his segment's actually the shortest in the movie, but it was fine because we just covered everything that he really wanted to say, essentially, you know, and just kind of in and out, which was cool, you know. We made it happen. We got to do like some stuff of him like fishing and you know, paddleboard and just stuff at his house. So that was, you know, we tried to, you know, make it different from Osborne or your typical moto segment, you know.
But it's like, you know, for the Osborne one, they don't leave the Baker factory, right? Like that's where they train, and if you want to film them, you're going to the Baker factory. And so then the question is, how do you make it different and something that hasn't been seen before? Mm-hmm. And it just gets really, really, really tough, right? So like we went to the WW National, and that helped, of course. But, you know, the way that like Alden kind of runs that program, Alden's super rad. He's super cool to us, and we're, you know, fortunate enough to be allowed out there anytime we really want. But it's like, we fly to Florida. It's very expensive for us to ship all of our gear there and then rent a car and then have the hotel rooms and all that good stuff. And then you're like, they'll tell you, oh, we're going to ride Monday. And then you get out there and they're like, oh, no, we're just doing starts today.
Track's flooded.
Yeah. Or, And then you like text them that night. What's your program tomorrow? I don't know. Alden hasn't told us yet. And then you go out there and they're like, we're doing 220s, right? And that's it. And you're like, okay, all right, we'll make it work, right? But we don't have the luxury to spend 2 weeks out there. You know what I mean? And kind of doing that. So I don't know. For me, like big learning experience was like, would we be better off kind of not working with the tip top pros and working with people that have the time, because at the end of the day, it's going to have a better story, right? And it's going to be more like compassionate. So we're kind of toying with doing that in the future.
Yeah.
I would think maybe a mix, because I think you still need to have a bigger name, right? But I think that having some other people that are at a smaller level where they can dedicate the time to it and they see the value in it. That's the issue with some of these guys how does that really help a Dean Wilson? But yet, how does that help a Tevin Tapia or something like that? Probably a lot,
Yeah, and there's certain guys that like Zach gets it. And I think Dean totally gets it. But let's take Zach, for instance. He totally gets it, and he's so cool. He's such a nice guy and willing to do whatever you want. But the riding side is just restricted because he's a professional athlete. He's on a schedule. Right. It's just what it is, and you respect their time and Alden's time, and yeah, it's just it is what it is, But they still get it. So it's hard, right? Because you're like, yeah, well, he really wants to be awesome himself, but you just don't. You can only make practice laps look so cool. I mean, man, when we used to go there when like Dunge was there and all that, again, Dungy, another great guy, right? But when he's doing his 30s, he doesn't look that cool because smooth is fast. And so that's why it's kind of an advantage to go film certain dudes. Yeah, they're just willing to send it or have that real wide open style, like we did Carson Brown, for instance, right? Like Carson Brown looks so sick because he is sick on camera, but like Dungy is technically faster, right? But and not looking cool, so it's like, well, what looks cool on camera? You gotta weigh that.
Yeah, or just try to like work with guys like when we worked with Dean Wilson in Moto 7 or 8 or I don't know, whatever it was. We went out to Florida Track and Trails, right? And he like stayed in a hotel for like 2 full days, and like it was to be in the movie, right? And that segment was badass, right? And we just didn't get that luxury this time around.
Yeah, well, he was in between for that Moto 8 one. It was when he was on KTM and he was in between rides. He didn't get kicked or picked back up from KTM, so he's like, "Well, it's just good for my brand," And that's how he even was this time. Is like he still knew it was good for his brand, but it was just other shit was getting in the way,
Yeah. The other tough thing is some of the top riders have agents, right? And you can't even talk to them, right? You have to talk to the agents, and then it's all well, how much are you going to pay for him to be in the film? And you're like, well, we don't have that much money.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah. Coming to you from the garage, obviously. Yeah. It's not, we're not in a huge office.
So.
Yeah, it's a whole different dynamic than if they got, it's not basketball, it's not baseball, it's motocross. Everything's tighter.
Yeah, I mean, the whole industry is smaller and the budgets are tighter, right? I mean, our top guy isn't getting paid what the lowest. Well, I guess lowest. The top 20 Supercross racer isn't making what the 20th best MLB pitcher is, but obviously it's because the market, right?
Yeah, we like to.
Doesn't mean I like it.
We like to complain, but then try to get everything for 25 to 50% off because we ride.
Right? I heard that.
How much for this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just send me a copy.
Right? Well, I'll get it when you can rent it.
I downloaded it. I shared it with all my buddies. Can't believe nobody will sponsor me.
You know what, though? The reality is free content is taking over the world. You know what I mean? I mean, you could go on YouTube and be on YouTube for hours watching some of the raddest free content, you know? And that's the day and age that we live in.
I'm still trying to figure out is that making money yet? Or is that just so many people are throwing stuff out? Like, I know a certain amount probably is making money, but how much of it is just people putting shit out to try and be the next?
Well,
the free content, I mean, it depends on what it's from. You know, I mean, brands just have to produce content to stay relevant, or people just trying to get themselves out there, or then there's those that, I mean, just get paid per release, essentially. You know, I mean, somebody like, let's say Tom, for instance, right? Obviously, he's got his best whip stuff that can bring in some revenue, but at the end of the day, he signs contracts that says he'll be in either web parts or movies or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that's not going to go away. And it only, makes our lives a little bit more difficult, but in the same manner, it's up to us to adapt in a certain way too, right?
They're figuring out how that works still. You know, like that's what I was saying about the whole free ride movement is this is what needed to happen. I knew years ago, I was like, it's going to happen. How exactly it's going to pan out, I don't know. But I can guarantee you all those guys like a Chris Foster, everybody we mentioned before are getting sponsors because of the amount of views they get online.
100%. Yeah, especially somebody like Foster right now. You know, I mean, that's how he makes his living. And he deserves more, rightfully so. I mean, there should be there is that market in all the other action sports, mountain bike, skate, snow, all that stuff. I mean, those guys make livings producing content. And that's definitely within the last, 3 years, let's say, really escalated, I think, in the motocross industry. But it's still not where it could be because these guys just they're doing some gnarly shit,
Yeah, it's hard just because of the risk level. But at the same time, we're kind of like doing it because we want to be good at it, or anybody, not me necessarily anymore, but I assumed the risk and I did the things I wanted to do and I felt like were worth it to risk. So it's weird you don't get paid. I guess if it got unionized, you'd get paid for that, but right now, we're just the Wild West running around like a bunch of fucking idiots, so it's what it is.
Right. Yeah. Just. Yeah. When's the last time you flipped, Clint? I was watching a video earlier of what was that? Anyway, you were flip whipping, and then there was one that actually was bad, and it was pretty gnarly. But I didn't know you were such a bad dude.
Years now. 2000. I got her in March 2016. I haven't even hit a ramp since then.
Really?
Yeah.
No desire.
A little bit, but at the same time, and like I would like to flip just because, like not all the time, but just go and rip one because it was a rad feeling. But at the same time, I know what that all entails in actual world. In my head, it's one thing, but in the actual world, like I know what that is again, since it's been so long. I'm pretty sure I could just pull and be close because I did it for probably 10 years, but there's a good chance I couldn't. And at this point, I don't think my leg could take me jumping off of a motorcycle again. So that's my only issue. I can't really fuck up right now.
Right. It's not like flipping on a trampoline. It's like, yeah, you probably can make it, but if you don't,
it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened the last time I flipped too, There'll be none of that for me.
No, that's how I know Tom and everybody else. I actually met Tom. I was at Pastrana's working on flipping, and he was there writing a article for Moto Playground or something like that.
Tom was?
Yeah, so he was writing for something. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But yeah, he just showed up and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" And I sat there and talked to him. I didn't know who he was. He was just a racer guy at that point still. So, but we talked, and then later he was like, "Yo, yeah, I met you at Pastrana's," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, that's right." So
that's a place I would love to go, man.
Me
That's
too,
my
man.
guy, TP. Right? I was watching something last night again. We were watching an old Nitro Circus. My roommate hadn't seen one of them. I was like, dude, you missed out. Like those are the days, man. The old Nitro Circus movies.
that's funny. How old are you guys?
I'm 27.
29.
That's funny that you guys are like Nitro
The same
Circus were the days versus like we're like Krusty was the days.
Yeah, Krusty. Like I was just trying to wad it up like Seth. Thought I made it.
Yeah. You know, the first Nitro Circus movie came out, I was like 13 probably or so. You know.
Oh shit.
How many comments we get of people bring back Krusty?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it would be pretty fun too.
You couldn't film that shitty with a iPhone. You'd have to try.
Right, even if you tried.
Dude, it would
I swiped the first Krusty 1 and 2 from Blockbuster, if you guys remember Blockbuster. And I had two VCRs hooked up so I could fucking steal it. It had that little sticker on it. Said like, you know, if you record over it, it's gonna ruin it. And I would just record like a minute and then go back and check. And I'm like, fuck it. Wing it.
I'm gonna clip that and send it to Dana Nicholson and Cammy Freeman and let them know scumbag you are.
We were somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we've driven across the country, you know, like 10 times and just been in the middle of nowhere. And I don't remember where it was, but again, in the middle of nowhere. And there was a Blockbuster.
Yeah, there was.
There was a Blockbuster.
That's independent video rental places, and you're like, whoa.
Yo,
yeah.
That's when you know they don't have fucking cable. They have telephone, you know, lines and electricity and
cable, no internet,
the hotel
service.
The hotels, when you drive by on the marquee, it says color TV and microwave.
HBO.
Exactly. Yeah. God, I'm so glad we're in this era now.
We sell quite a bit of DVDs still and Blu-rays, and it should straight up be illegal to buy our movie on a DVD. Like if you, it's like
the stream quality right here.
Yeah, I had a chick. She bought her boyfriend a DVD for Christmas, right? And you know, we just ship them out. Obviously, we're not gonna call them up and be like, "You sure? You sure you want to buy a DVD?" And she writes back and she said, or she sends us an email and she says, "Hey, I bought my boyfriend a DVD for Christmas, blah blah, and he played it, and we think there's something wrong with the quality of it." And I was like, "No, that's just a DVD." What is a DVD? 480p?
480.
And then a Blu-ray.
Come on.
Dude. Yeah, Blu-ray is only 720.
Yes.
Come on. That's what we're streaming at.
Shit, I didn't know they were that bad.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
Same along the same lines as that. So, you know, obviously our holidays are a lot more busy for us as far as like shipping and all that. And because we just released the movie, and my one of my like first girlfriends in high school, she rides, and she bought like the order comes along, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is, and she bought a DVD, and so we sent both a DVD and a Blu-ray. We're like, please, if you can, just watch this on a Blu-ray. Here's the Blu-ray. Just take it.
Versus you could go on iTunes or Vimeo or whatever, and it's 4K. You know, it's like it's just completely different. You know?
Gosh, I didn't realize discs were that bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it's essentially like playing off a VHS. Almost.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not kidding.
I used to watch all the Supercross on VHS because I didn't have cable.
The's no tracking.
My buddy would tape it.
I can't tell.
There's no
that
tracking
was some garbage.
on a DVD.
Yeah. I remember getting our first DVD player and watching Joe Dirt. And like that part where he's like, I could see down your shirt when he's in the tooth balloon. We could like zoom in on it, and we thought that was awesome.
And a DVD player was like $200 at the back.
Oh, easy, dude. I remember picking it out with my dad. He's like, this is a good one. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we got
Yeah.
it.
Nobody ever bought Blu-ray players because they were so expensive. It's like, you could just buy DVD.
Yeah. Times have changed.
That's
in a good way, though. Like, it should be illegal, honestly. You know?
My in-laws bought us a Blu-ray just so the kids could watch some DVDs they bought them. And it's like the same DVDs. But if you flip through the channels or whatever, you'll see the menu for the DVD that was in there like a month ago still playing. Because we watched the one show.
Right. Yeah, times have changed quick.
This is crazy.
Do you guys not have drinks? I just realized this.
I got to go piss and I got to get another beer because I've been out for like.
Well, I've been drinking hazy IPA.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
Oh man, we're professionals at this, all right?
Look I'm down to water.
Just
you dog.
This is ridiculous. Water and a Red Bull. I'll be back.
All right.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Small bladder.
It happens. That's what Jason has that too. I mean, the amount of miles we've traveled together, that man next to me has to pee a lot more than I do. And it is what it is.
Or do you just have an abnormally big bladder?
Yeah, it's probably unhealthy.
Okay, when you pee into a bottle, what's the biggest bottle you've filled?
They don't make a bottle big.
Like I'll fill a 20-ounce, no problem. Especially while driving.
Oh yeah. See, I'm more of a relaxed type of guy. It's hard for me to go under pressure like that. So I gotta be comfortable. No, dude.
Not joking.
Yeah, I gotta breathe.
Not while I'm I mean, I have peed several times while I'm physically driving, but I meant just if I'm driving for a long period of time and then stop to pee, and I gotta pee in a bottle.
I'd rather go outside. That's usually his move. In fact, we went up to Oakland Supercross this weekend, and we all drove up one van. We're from like the Bay Area, and but in different towns. And we went riding the day before, and the next day we all met up at Oakland Supercross. He went golfing, and later I opened up the van, and we had there were some gallon waters there. I'm like, why does that one look so yellow? And I'm like, oh, that's because this is why we can't have nice things, okay? Because this man will take any excuse he probably can to piss in a bottle. To say he did, essentially.
Why did you ruin the good water, though?
Well, because I was at my parents' like bougie ass country club, and I couldn't make it to the bathroom. Like I was all in the other parking lot, and I would have gotten frowned upon. And I have a Sprinter van, and so I could just stand up all nice, and then there's a bottle, and I was like, "Well, screw it," and it was amazing.
Did you slam as much water as you could before you drank it? Peed?
Well, no, it was already like halfway open. So
you were like, ugh, somebody may have drank off of this. I'll just pee in it.
Mother, send more waters.
He's on it,
You chug the water so you don't ruin it, and then you got to piss again in 5 minutes.
But then you got the rest of the gallon.
I don't think it multiplies inside of me. I don't know.
Over to an empty gallon, so you're fine.
And then you have to still figure out, all right, where is it okay to pour this?
Oh, anywhere.
Especially
you can pour it anywhere.
Watered down.
Especially like Gatorade at that point,
Yeah.
You just
looks like
hit
you
mailboxes with it. Doom.
Yeah.
I've heard.
True. Yeah, figuratively speaking, of course, right? Yeah, I haven't perfected the pee in a bottle technique, really. It's I'd rather just honestly hold it until I'm about to pop and then hold it some more and then find a really desperate place,
Listen, peeing in a bottle goes all the way back to purchasing your beverage. Okay? If you're not planning that far ahead, you're not a real fucking road dog.
See, we were driving a motorhome though, so we were fine because you just like you could pee but like funny story. When Snapchat used to have like the mile per hour filters, where like so I mean we were in a motorhome for years, and so one of my pride and joys that I still have saved was I told him that I had to go take a dump and to essentially put it on the governor. So I think I I have like the picture. It's just I'm sitting in the shitter. And it's just my boxers down there, you know, and it says like 83.7. We would just, it's so convenient because you could just pee or take a dump whenever you wanted. And so now we're doing the band.
So you guys are RV dumpers, both of you?
Only number one.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Oh, yeah.
Only number ones.
Number one.
That is one of the perks of having a motorhome, dude. Is you don't have to poop in public.
Yeah. Plus, what you don't know is that we spent.
That toilet is for pissing and throwing up. No number twos.
Not when you spend a month or when you spend 3 months a year in the thing and 35 days straight, you shit in that thing.
We've drained
hundreds of times. Yeah, a piece.
Well, if you drink enough, then your shits are basically piss anyways. So you're just spraying them out.
You heard their schedule. They're not partying. They're actually out here doing business.
We partied a few times.
Well,
I can't believe they have a successful video company.
No, that's what the tour was the victory lap when they just went around and got wasted.
That's what it once was for sure. It was like, oh yeah, we're out on a party, you know. But now it's like our financials, our job, and you gotta be a little smarter, yeah.
But then you still get a buzz to cover all that too, you know. You gotta drink.
Is this your guys' only job now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I think we're gonna lower the tour a little bit, so it won't be as many stops, and we're gonna start dabbling with some commercial work in the meantime. You know, we have opportunities that come our way, but we don't take them because we're so full bore movie, and so we're gonna keep up doing the movies and stuff, but then do more commercial work.
Yeah.
Where the good money's at.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it does take a ridiculous amount of time to make the movies. Obviously, between filming alone, all the planning, editing, there's just so much shit that goes into it that it takes a lot of time. But we can put some stuff in there to help keep us going too, and expand. I mean, it would be really cool to keep doing dirt bike movies for years and years to come, but it would be awesome if those turned into a bit of a passion project, and you could just keep advancing as creatives, as people would say. Like, just be easy to get burnt out after. I don't want to be 10 years down the road still making dirt bike movies with 16-year-old kids, I guess.
No.
But no.
So I guess my YouTube segment is cut. You don't want to come out to Illinois and watch me rip?
No.
I mean, you do, because I've grown up loving dirt bikes, but you gotta go
step it up. It's like anything else.
You gotta keep transforming.
It's like riding. You're trying to get your game up.
Don't ever grow up.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. There's no, definitely not. And the beauty of it is to be able to still do motocross stuff as a passion. Like, that's what you do because you want to do it, not however many years down the road you're just doing it to survive, and it become it never wants to, we don't ever want it to feel like we have to do this because we have to.
And I mean, I think it's all there's no doubt, like, we're going to be in the motocross space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And other commercial work too that comes our way. But there's plenty of companies that have reached out or that need, video work aside from being in a movie or whatnot. And we're kind of foolish to not be open to that, So, and you basically are having someone else foot the bill, right? And you get to still go do all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
So last year was a huge eye opener for us because it was our first year really being on our own and, flipping the bill for this movie, which is super expensive. It's not an easy task to achieve by any means. And then we kind of put all of our eggs in that basket and couldn't capitalize on some opportunities that came our way, So, like, I don't think we're allowed to say the rider, but today specifically, we kind of got the opportunity to film our own real moto for X Games this year, and that's rad, right? Because we got that opportunity last year, but we were too busy.
Yeah.
So, we want to be doing stuff like that. And,
so nobody's watching right now. We're not live. You can go ahead and say his name.
Yeah.
You don't expect though.
Yeah.
Just saying, Pig Latin.
Like we just want to kind of diversify ourselves a bit and not put all our eggs in one single basket.
So it's not anybody that's been in the movie.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, in the movie? Oh yeah, who knows? Or the movie? Who knows?
Yeah. You may have never even heard of this guy or kid.
Vicky Golden. We knew it.
No. Hey, shit.
Look how quick they said no.
Yeah.
No, well, you're right.
Let's grill him.
No,
definitely not.
He's on to us.
Yeah.
He's on to us.
He's gonna pull the plug.
She's so gnarly though. Like
there's
nobody else that sounds like her as far in this space,
What did you guys think about us having a chick in the film? I mean, she was the first chick that we've ever had in the film. It was our first, we've always wanted to. It's just we didn't really have the opportunity to. And so now that we kind of called the shots, that's kind of like how we wanted to. We definitely want like a chick in every movie that we're doing. And I mean, she came out and she set the bar crazy high for any other chick in the film. And it's like, you can't have a feature length film or our movie, let's just say, with a makeup to mud, right? Like we can't do that, right? So we kind of went on a whim. We're like, we'll work with her, but then like, who do we work with in the future years, and how do you raise the bar from her? So we think we have it figured out. Yeah, we have it figured out for this next year, but you have to wait and see on that one.
Is it that blonde Swedish chick that's super fucking hot?
No, who's that?
She could probably barely ride.
Clint, it might be.
She could probably barely ride, but who gives a fuck?
That's all right. Send me her profile later.
Right.
Yeah.
Research for it.
It's like, Clint, this isn't a real profile. This is 5 in the same picture.
People loved it. I mean, especially other chicks. I mean, they loved it. So I don't even think Vicky really knew kind of the reach that it was going to get. And it's still we haven't even got to streaming yet, right? That's where the views really start clicking away on our movies. And then I think she's just kind of got hit up quite a bit through DMs and tags on social media and this and
every
that.
night at the premieres.
Yeah, every night at the premieres she would get hit up, and I mean she didn't even come to the premiere 30 minutes from her house because she didn't really care that much, And then now I think
she's like, oh shit!
Yeah, after the fact.
It was kind of cool to see actually how she's like, I mean every night,
and she's fucking really good. It's not just it's not just like you said, makeup to mud. You can just throw a chick in there to have a girl.
Yeah, she was and we did the motocross portion of her segment at Verona Oaks, which is a pretty mild track, and we didn't really know that going in necessarily just because we're not quite from that area, but so it just didn't give her a lot of opportunity to really showcase her moto skills, but at the same time, I mean, she still pinned it, and it was cool to see. I mean, she definitely kind of got what it took to look good on camera, because we were talking about earlier, you don't even have to be breaking world records speed wise to really look good on camera. You just gotta be a little wild.
I was gonna say you gotta look a little bit out of control.
Totally, and bounce off the rev limiter a few times. That's all it takes.
It's the steez, right? Is that what you guys were saying?
That's what you young kids call it, isn't it?
You guys are the kids.
Yeah.
Kids are saying something else now. I don't even know what it is.
We're like 10.
Right.
Well, I'm 10 years older or more than both of you guys.
So you don't have to admit
Oh,
that.
gross! They're gonna hang up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, if people are just listening to this, they don't even they don't know, right? We could be what we know over here.
That's why you didn't know how gnarly I was, because you were a fucking little baby.
Dude, Clint will send you a DVD
right.
if you want to find out what he's all about.
Look him up in the what?
Yeah, the encyclopedia. Yeah. Well, you know, that's luckily we got YouTube for that. We can find out anything.
This is the fun part about this show. It's just people bumping into each other. It's like going over the history of it and different aspects of it. Like you guys are on the video end, and
yeah,
it's just a good time.
Totally. No, it's sweet, man. It's I mean, I'm such a podcast guy too. I mean, I gotta give my ears something to listen to when I'm editing for a gazillion hours. So podcasts are the way to go.
What are you guys premiere wise next year? What are you guys East Coast? What are you gonna keep?
You're running those.
Yeah.
All right. Good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
There you go.
You mentioned it, and I'm gonna hit you up about it. So
I just got a boner, so
Moto boner.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I mean
we don't want to drive to the East Coast if we don't have to, man.
It's not that. It's like I said. It just eats up too much of our time for other stuff that we want to be doing, you know. But the premieres are awesome. You know what I mean? Especially the East Coast have been a little tougher for us compared to like the Pacific Northwest specifically. I mean, but we've also been doing that for. Now this would be my 9th year doing a premiere tour, you know what I mean? And I just kept growing it every year, growing it. We had 30 stops this year.
Wow.
And that's 2.5 months we were away from, I just had a newborn at that time in July, you know what I mean? And so it was tough. But I want to keep growing it, and I just need to have other people help me, you know what I mean? And there's money to be had in it. And, like someone like yourself is perfect for, the East Coast specifically.
That's what I've been working for the last 20 years. So I'm finally ready. So
there you go. There you go.
There you go. And there is something like super cool about being able to watch the movie in a movie theater with all your fellow dirt bikers. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Dunelin one was awesome, but quality wise, like we have some theaters that we go to that are literally like 80-foot screens, 4K, with 5.1 Dolby surround sound, and you're just like, holy shit, dude, we're watching a movie, right? A motocross movie in a movie theater, right? So that's kind of how they are.
We're gonna have to get it off the DVD player next time.
No, that was VHS. God.
Yeah, what we were talking about. We ran 720 on a fucking big screen. So
yeah, we ran 480.
480, dude, because it went through our.
480 buffering.
So or especially me, because I've spent so much.
I was just gonna say that I've done videos before, and my video guy, now I edit my own stuff. But back in the day, I had an editor and everything, a filmer. And that shit would make him fucking nuts. Like, I'd send him footage from my camera, and if you look at my old video, there's a bunch of stuff that has like a filter over it, so it looks like film. That's all my stuff. Or it's black and white. Like, he changed the color of all my stuff because he's like, I can't handle it. It looks like shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it took me, probably 1,000 hours to edit this thing. And I was just like, watching it on, it obviously it turned out okay. Nobody else knows. But for me, I'm just like, it's life out of me when I see it.
Dude, it's changed even in like the past 10 years. I look at stuff that I filmed like on a GoPro that was fucking brand new or anything.
Yeah, like GoPro 3. You know?
Yeah. I think that's what I still have. It's garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah, and we thought it was sick.
Well, dude, I used to tape my mom's Sony Mini DV to the side of my helmet. I thought that was the shit.
We put a mini DV on top of my helmet. This is not a joke. I had an old helmet, so I pulled it out and we taped it to the top of my helmet. But the problem was when I would hit jumps, it would pull the tape away from the like rider or whatever. So on the faces of all the jumps, it would get like staticky as fuck, and then it would come back in the air.
Hey, you're innovative though, you know.
Dude, first helmet cam I had was mounted with a bolt to the side of the helmet, and I had to wear like a fanny pack type thing with the camera pack in it, and it was junk. And if you didn't angle it right, you missed everything. Like a GoPro catches everything, right? This was like you point it down a little bit, you're looking at the ground the whole time.
Have you ever seen the pictures of what they did for On Any Sunday back in the day? You know, I mean,
and that was I think I was 10.
Me too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like how much has changed even in just a few years.
Yeah. Thank God I became a filmmaker in this era. You know, it's really
dude, fuck that.
Dude, we did 16 millimeter for a bunch of the first thing, and that was a fucking fiasco. He handled it, but still just getting it done, and that was most of our budget. Luckily, we were shooting segments for M80 on Fuel TV. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. I totally remember that whole.
I mean, what about they're not around? Fuel TV's gone.
What about the show 54321? Remember that? That was a great show.
Fox Sports 2 is Fuel TV.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They bought that out, and that's why Fuel at the end started all of a sudden playing a bunch of MMA stuff, because it had been bought by, I think it was always a Fox station, but then they were just like, screw all this other stuff, and they changed it into like what it was, but or what it is now. But we were filming for them, and our deal was with them was that we needed to shout out to Adam Barker. Our deal with him was that we would do the segments. The first year we filmed them and they edited them. Kyle shot everything. I planned all the shoots, so I got lined all the riders up. We would go back to him and go, okay. He'd say, you got this many segments. I want this many blowing up, this many of this many of that. The original deal was I had to do something that nobody had ever done on a dirt bike in order for us to get the whole deal. So I made grind pegs, and I grinded a rail on a regular 250 two-stroke. And then we went to Philadelphia and grinded a rail in a park, so that technically I'm the first person ever to do like a standard regular rail that was there. It wasn't made for this or anything on a dirt bike, period. So
that had to been gnarly.
It was fucking gnarly. We did it at like midnight in the rain in Philadelphia. I had that was just we were going, and then like I had to drive back up here and stuff, and then it ended up raining. So we were like, fuck it. I had sweatshirts wrapped around my exhaust to try and keep it down as much as I could. I took a Gatorade can or a bottle, like one of those short, fat ones. Yeah. I cut the top off, and I peed in it because it had a big top. That's why I bought that. I cut the top off, and I put foam in there, and I put it on the back of my silencer to try and quiet my bike down as much as I could so we didn't get arrested. Yeah. And I fucking hit the thing like 4 or 5 times. He got enough footage. We threw the bike back in the truck and took off. But so I lined up all the I was like, hey, I think we should do blowing up on, Greg Hartman, on Jack Rowe. So I came up with the idea for all the segments, and then I figured out where we were going to film everybody and when. And then we flew my filmer out and met up with everybody and shot everything. Then we had to give them the footage, and our deal was just that they could use the we had to put our video out after the season played, so that way after the episodes that we provided any footage for was already out, then we could put the videos out ourselves. So they actually paid for, we like leveraged the film that way. He basically paid for Kyle to fly out, and then also for all the development of the 16 millimeter film, which was like fucking thousands of dollars.
Yeah, expensive, because that was like digital was starting to come in, right? But not like crazy probably by that point. But yeah, man, the film, I would like to experience. I did a lot of film photography, like big format stuff, but it would be really cool.
We were mini DVs at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess that makes it a little bit easier, but still, like I wouldn't even know where to start with that.
I still don't. Like, he did all that. He's like, he bought the camera for like $200. You know what I mean? Like the camera wasn't shit. It was all the film and the developing of it that was the expensive part.
Hey, we got
the shot.
Huh?
And you just hoped you got the shot too. You didn't get to replay it, or maybe like hopefully it was just right.
Yeah. Hopefully you were in focus and you got something usable.
On your little viewfinder, you could hit rewind.
Dude, and he was you couldn't hit not on a fucking 16 millimeter.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking mini DV.
No. You ain't doing shit.
You couldn't even cover it up with a filter.
Oh, you really? Yeah. I guess you're right. It's like now you can just adjust so much in post. You can do a ridiculous amount.
Now 16 millimeter is a filter.
Yeah.
For real, huh? Yeah.
Hey, Danny D. Wayne's asking questions, Clint, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Danny D. Wayne's like our #1 fan stalker.
Right on.
He's not a stalker.
I know. It's good to fuck with him. I fuck with him on Instagram.
Okay.
He was asking how you guys lay it out. Like, what's the process as far as editing scenes and putting it to music? Do you lay it out, then do music?
He says, does he clip the best scenes out and lay them out to where it fits best to the music? I would imagine you edit stuff and then.
So it depends on it. I'll tell you how I do it. Not all guys do it this way. I personally, we film, obviously. You kind of get an idea coming out of the segment, out of the filming, to understand, like, okay, it would work really well with maybe this style of music, right? Something more like Tom's. Well, Tom wanted something that was real, not punk, because it's not punk, but rock, right? Like kind of classic Moto style, which is why we use that Ignite song. But let's take Vicky's segment, for instance. You film Vicky, you get a sense for her personality. You're like, all right, you have to have a song that has a female vocalist, because why not? And you have to have something that's kind of edgy, so let's go for rock. And I've been obsessed with music my whole life, growing up playing music and such. So I think that kind of has really aided me into finding good music that kind of like I can just envision the segment almost when I'm looking through the footage. So then we'll both hop on Spotify. We just go forever looking for songs and looking for music that's not super popular, so that we can get it, at a decent price. And I edit personally to the songs. I think it just helps me along with the creative process, and gives me like the inspiration for it. But we usually don't let's take Vicky's segment, for instance. It's like 6.5 minutes, or no, it's hers longer than that. It's like 7.5 minutes long. It has 2 songs. I'll find a song. I'm like, yes, this is the one I want, but it's only 3 minutes long. So then you go from there and you just try to cut it up and extend it and do a bunch, put a bunch of trickery to it, to really try to make it fit. I guess I jumped ahead. I'll find a song, edit the choruses.
So remember when we were watching the trailer earlier, you were talking about the dude who made the music for that.
Yeah.
What was up with that?
Yeah. Okay. So for that one, for the trailer, I've already seen all the footage, right? Because the trailer comes almost last. So each segment, I'll pick a bunch of shots that I think should be in the trailer. We had the main meat of that trailer, like the that was a song that we found from the composer guy. He had already had. So I edited like a lot of the meat of the segment, of the trailer to that. But we wanted a really like dramatic opening that's like real. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the first segment. Damn it, it all blends together. The trailer.
Well, whatever you were talking about when we started the whole.
Yeah. So I was
Britain or whatever.
Tom Parsons segment today, which is the opening of the movie, and that has that big dramatic opening to it. With the trailer, I had all the footage. I had already seen it, and I had used that song for one of the segments in the movie. And I thought it was just a great opportunity to use a song that was easily obtainable, was real upbeat, but also real melodic. And you just can feel what's going to be good for it. Honestly, it's kind of a trip how it works sometimes. You just feel it,
Yeah.
The segments are a lot harder to find music for than the trailer is always easy to find music for because you've already established what your music's going to be. It's like a trippy process, but it just kind of all falls together. That's almost the weird part about it.
Do writers ever have any input on that? Like, do they ever say, "Hey, do this, do that," or suggestions?
With as far as the editing is concerned,
like the music part.
Yeah, music. So we always try to ask guys on like what kind of music they're into. If they have any ideas. Some dudes, just don't really care, or they're not really necessarily like super invested in a certain genre of music. Certain guys really are. Like somebody like Dean prefers if it was kind of like a rap song, right? And we were able to do that. Or Tom, like I said, Tom found his song. He introduced it to us, and we're like, hell yeah, if we can get that song, let's do it. But some people don't really care. They're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's up to us.
They know you'll make it look good.
And it's hard to find something that's diverse. Of course, it's you have to be able to take out your personal opinion sometimes for the songs, which makes it hard.
Yeah. If it's something you don't like.
Yeah, if it's something you don't like or you wouldn't necessarily put on a playlist, that doesn't mean that it's not going to go great within the edit, right? So you have to kind of pay attention to what the edit's going to look like and the environment and the writer, the personality themselves, and kind of adapt to that. So, there's plenty of songs that we've picked that I would never have on my playlist, but that doesn't mean it didn't work perfectly for the segment.
Yeah.
Just been.
Nick's not artistic at all, so he doesn't get it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
We're gonna have a drawing contest right now, me and Clint.
We're doing
whatever you do,
or what?
don't let me do it because I can draw a stick figure. That's fine.
I'm in the art lab right now. I created for my children. This is all it is. I got my dirt bike out of here so these kids could color and do arts.
And you're trying to live vicariously through your.
I am, and then when they do things when they draw stick figures, I shame them. I make fun of them. I said, "Don't be like me."
And better than that. Art, music, that stuff that's good for kids. Legos. I was a huge Lego kid.
Oh, dude, there's a new show out on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I saw it and I'm like, yep, nope.
What is it?
I appreciate it.
There's a Lego show like on NBC or like it's like a big show.
It's the cooking shows, but in Legos, essentially.
Yeah, and they build like it's like a competition to see who can build the biggest and baddest logo or Lego structures or whatever. I don't know how.
I'm sure it's real, right? It's on TV.
Of course, no, it's
yeah.
It ain't staged.
My daughter's gonna be pissed because she watches the baking stuff. That's her deal.
I mean, hey, you could probably learn a lot from, I'm sure, with all those, but I would just assume that they're a little staged.
Everything, dude. That's like constantly.
Everything.
So I tell the kids, I'm like, this isn't real, right?
Well, I mean, we do that too, though. We create stories. We can
look at that. I like the wording. We create stories.
Sure.
I know you do. You have to. That's your job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the cool part about it. You can walk away from a situation, and sometimes you're creating the real story, but you're still creating a story because you just filmed a bunch of random shit, and you gotta and you tried to get everything. You got an interview, and you're just trying to piece it together.
And you got 15 minutes of Dean Wilson, and you're trying to
45.
make it something. 45, I know, but you know what I'm saying. I get it. Yeah, you gotta create something. Yeah.
You do, yeah, and it's a huge challenge, but that's, I guess, the fun part about it, right? Is that it's not easy, because why would you wouldn't be passionate about it if it just came easy?
Yeah, it's not Snapchat where you're just like throwing it out there.
No, it's not. It has to be. It would be a lot easier if it was. It's level. All right, trying to figure out how to sell a movie. No. It's cool though.
Well, the Tom Parsons clip that we started with, that was super cool. That's when I was trying to refresh my memory. That's what I started out with today.
Yeah, that's one that we're really proud of, man. It was physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, creatively exhausting. It was everything that it needed to be to create that, really.
This is kind of random, but also not really that random. Our first shoot really on our own was in Moto 9. Moto 9, we went to Canada to Kamloops with Foster and Tom Parsons, and we spent 2 weeks there with them, and that was one of you still watch that segment today, and it's like those dudes threw so down, it was ridiculous. Yeah, nice. Did you guys ever see that segment, or Clint? Did you see it?
Was it on one of the Moto you said?
Moto 9, but
yeah.
I think
it's on. Somebody pirated it and put it on YouTube though, so you could watch it on there. It's kind of those things.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
dude. And
cool.
we filmed. Foster was filming his real moto at the time, right? So we came in and we joined in with them, and our deal was we'll swap footage. And so it was awesome because Foster threw down. He ended up winning gold that year, with real moto or whatnot. But I don't even know why I brought that up, but it was just so insane, the riding.
That's probably one of my. That's probably Tom segment is probably number one favorite that we've ever done. That's probably number two, and then it'd be Beckering, I guess, would be number three for me, just because the circus was crazy.
Right.
The Soul Circus.
It's the Universal Circus. That was crazy, dude. That's for another podcast.
You know what we want to do, which we'll probably never end up getting to do, but how cool would it be to do a reality TV show on the behind the scenes of a circus?
See, but they wouldn't even know how cool it is because it's.
He would. Clint, I feel like have you ridden in a circus before? Yeah, dude, right?
All the circuses.
Listen, I pioneered this shit. I know.
Crazy.
And I've gone to the Universal Circus as well, but I didn't ride for them. I was on probably two different circuses for a couple of years each, and then did some other random ones. But yeah, when we started doing circuses full time, everybody laughed at us. And I was like, do you have fucking 40 weeks booked straight? And they're like, oh, and I'm like, so suck a dick.
I think the last circus that me and Clint did is when Clint tried to kill himself by missing. He just bailed off his bike, hit the landing with his body, and then bounced off the top of the safety to the concrete floor. It was rough. And everybody said that me and Clint were drinking whiskey and fist fighting before that in the locker room. True story. They're like, I don't know how that came up that we were drinking whiskey and fist fighting when the not the Jesse White tumblers, the what's their name? The Chicago boys. They were the tumbling team. They were in there. Those dudes were brawling every day in the fucking locker room. Like not brawling, but
they were on America's Got Talent.
They were fucking around every day. It was fucking.
All right, hey Clint, serious question though. Do you think a circus, whatever circus, there's a ton of circus companies out there. Would any one of them really let you show what goes on behind the scenes? And the reality is, I think you would just skyrocket the sales of that fucking circus because you could turn acts into like legit celebrities off the stage, and you could go see Timmy the Tweaker, you know what I mean, at the circus.
I would say best case scenario on that is Universal Circus. 100%. Like, not to say the other ones aren't crazy, but I think logistics of one of them letting you do it, that's probably best case scenario for you.
Yeah, because like when people say like, oh yeah, carnies, they don't have any idea. It's a real thing.
The carnies and circus folk are different.
Okay, yeah. True. You're right.
Well, if you go to the circus, just know, don't call them carnies.
Yeah, no, I would never do that. I
apologize for my
bad.
I think the other angle there is all the animal people getting pissed about the elephants. You could turn it into like an image shift type thing. You show all backstage, like where they're not beating the shit out of elephants or.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they're zebras are essentially a donkey, I guess.
Well, whatever. But now they'll have like dirt bikers backstage, hungover, fucking suffering.
What are you talking about?
Tell me, reality television wise, you wouldn't watch that.
Oh,
shit, you know what I mean? Like it would be a Netflix series.
But they would use it as like their image shift.
Depending on what the fuck these guys showed.
That's the problem. Like, if you want to make it awesome, like as awesome as you could possibly get, you have to just be brutally honest and show.
Oh no, I'm talking
all the crazy
like
shit that goes on.
It would need to come off as like the real world, like on MTV and shit, like of circus life, where Heather's getting a blowski under the freaking bleachers right before her act,
Yeah.
Which I think happened. I think that actually happened while we were there, or like the day before we got there. Like someone cheated on their husband in the circus before their act under the bleachers. Like that's the type of shit that we need to film.
Or that they live like who set up the tents, live in the sea trains that are with the tiny rooms.
Dude.
Like, oh, it's crazy.
There's some real stories to be
told.
Sea
trains. What's a sea train?
The shipping containers.
Yeah.
They turn the ship.
Yeah.
A living quarters for 40 people.
And they're gnarly. They're gnarly.
What circus was this?
Universal, right?
Oh, Universal.
Dude, we were 3 days there. We're like, whoa.
It was the best experience of my life.
I've been on circuses where we pulled in someplace, and when we go to leave, I'm like, who the fuck are all these guys? And they literally just dropped off all their help and just went to the homeless shelter and picked up all new guys.
Clint has a story of the one guy, because they would always have random helpers. Like they'd pick them up in every town. They might go one town or two.
I don't know if that guy's random.
Well, he was whoever. So you know the guy I'm talking about, right?
The picture guy?
Yeah.
Yo, so we're doing this show, and this guy's like, he seems like maybe he's a little bit slow, and he's just like all fired up about the bike guys and the guys that were there last week. He's telling me about them, and what do you ride? And I ride a Yamaha, and he's like, oh, fucking you suck. I'm a Cowie guy, blah, blah, blah. So then he comes into the locker room, or I don't know where I think we were in the locker room, and he starts showing me pictures on his flip phone of the other guys jumping, and it's literally like them landing, you know what I mean? Or like just about to land, like there's no tricks or anything. And then he's going through the pictures and all of a sudden it's like, boom, dick. And and I just fucking look at him and shake my head, you know? And he just proceeds to get mad at me and starts fucking like yelling at me. And then left the locker room and told everyone else at the circus that I saw his dick. And I'm like, why? Like, what are you like? What are you doing? Just shut the fuck up. I'm not. But I thinking back on it, I think it was more like a, hey.
He was definitely feeling you out.
What do you think about this?
So Clint tells me this story, and the next weekend I'm at a
That's
circus.
not necessarily the end of it. I left.
Shit!
There was another. So there was a locker room everybody was in. I walk across the hallway, and there's another locker room totally empty, open. So I'm like, yeah, got my own locker room. So I go in there, shower and everything, go to the truck for the night, go back in the next day, and my towel's soaking wet. And I'm like, and I look, and there's another bag in the locker room, and I'm like, please don't tell me. It was Dick Pic guy decided that we were sharing a locker room, and I'm sure he used my towel. Or he jacked on it and then tried to wash it off or something. I don't fucking know.
I mean, that's what
Clint
usually happens.
Clint tells me this whole story.
Validating my philosophy.
Yeah.
How bad series of behind the scenes. Dude.
But those aren't circus people. Those are carnies.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Circus people are like trapeze people. They're backstage practicing while dirt bikers are fucking hungover and playing on their phones.
Yeah,
like
circus.
Oh no, man, that's not what I saw.
You were at the Soul Circus. Different story.
No, it's all crazy. I was with girls. I was with girls that I was on this like hanging out with on the circus late, and they're getting texts from like married dudes on the circus, like, "Where are you at? What are you doing?" and shit. And
Dude,
I'm like,
we were partying because all the circuses, or a lot of them, are like Shriner. The Shriners are running them, and we were partying the after party, and everybody's all, I don't know, they all dress up and stuff, and so we're partying, and then I'm kind of fading in and out, and I remember getting in the limo with the lion tamer and the fucking ringmaster guy, and then next thing I know, I wake up and my phone, somehow I plugged my phone in. I'm laying in the fucking locker room of the arena, and it was Derek. What's his name? Derek Cook is asking, where are you at? We got to ride an hour. And I'm like, I'm at the arena, dude. I'm already here. Like, that's where I went to bed. I don't know how I got in, how I fucking whatever, but I was like, I got to be there because I got to ride in the morning.
I'm telling you, this is an opportunity.
Yeah. After the show, we can figure out how we can make this happen.
Dude, that same Dick Pic guy was showing our buddy Dino at the next show I was at. He's showing him pictures on his flip phone. I look at this guy, I see a flip phone, kind of crazy looking. I just walked away, and Dino comes up. He's like, "Man, that guy was showing me pictures." And then his dick popped up on the phone. I'm like, I fucking knew it. That's why I walked away.
That's his MO, boy. If you get a smile on your face, you're getting your dick sucked.
He's like, "Why didn't you say nothing?" Like, I knew it. I knew it was coming.
Dude. Yeah, we gotta make it happen one day to really show what's possible at or what actually goes down at circuses. But they're pretty
looking
gnarly.
for revenue. They're looking for revenue. If you can increase revenue, they'll be like done.
You build these celebrities, right, to where like people want to go see them. Like it doesn't matter that he cheated on his wife, or he did a or he was upside down on a trapeze, or whatever the fuck it is. It's all the more reason to like that person. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a guilty pleasure for people.
Yeah.
100%. That's why Real World works. Or
exactly.
Jersey Shore. They hate every one of them.
Exactly.
Dude, my old lady's inside watching fucking The Bachelor right now.
Hating on
2-hour special on Wednesday. Who'd have thought?
Hating.
Oh, yeah. Those sluts. Those fucking sluts.
Yeah. Okay,
I love sitting there talking shit about those sluts.
Why?
But I'm podcasting and I'm enjoying this. This is my
That
job.
show, is it ever gonna die?
No.
You know what I mean? Like they built a brand out of it, and it's 48 years strong, dude. Still going. You know, still fun. Right? It's crazy.
Sold.
All right, the circus shit's gonna outperform that, no doubt.
I mean, that is a good idea.
Gotta find the right network that's not gonna.
As long as you well, that's the great thing now is that you could do a web series until it gets enough traction and then sell it, to a network or something.
Yeah, you can pilot.
Exactly.
Whatever it is. Yeah. And I guess the hopes would be like a Netflix comes in and they just were like, yeah, okay, we want 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And give you $400 million.
Or Hulu or whatever.
Hulu, I don't think Hulu would be down. They have a cleaner image. Dude. They don't want. There ain't no gnarly stuff on.
You gotta go. You gotta go straight Crackle on this one.
Yeah, they're already going out of business.
They'd be desperate. They're like, hey, we're down.
They'll throw in it. They'll see if they can. Maybe the circus will save Crackle.
Yeah, if you can film her and him under the bleachers, we'll do
it. Sony's in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dude, you're gonna ruin that circus.
We're really going to be filming under the bleacher stuff, at the circus.
And that's what it'll be called, under the tent. Under
the big top, yeah. Under the big top behind the bleachers. That's what it should be called.
Yeah, that'll be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm liking it. I'm really liking it.
You guys can be the producers. How about that?
All right.
Sure. We're in.
And producers, that just means you have to come up with the money to fund it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Have that spot,
Well,
I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
I can help you with live streaming, hence this whole thing. I got
there you go.
software.
If you live stream it, then you can't.
Circus Live.
It's like live PD. It's just these guys busting in with cameras.
Sweet.
I got a new joke about live rescue. Have you guys seen that?
Yes, dude. My dad watches all the time, dude.
That's just the show directly after Ridiculousness.
What's that?
That's like the second half of Ridiculousness.
Yes, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
seen Ridiculousness.
Apparently not.
That's another show that's going to be on for fucking years.
Like, hey, me and Rob go way back. You know what I mean?
He seems like a great guy.
He is.
It's like AFV, dude.
It seems like, oh man, see, that is a throwback.
See?
Kids aren't understand what that is.
America's Funny Videos.
Funniest home videos.
Yeah.
America's Funny Videos.
That was
they got a YouTube channel because they're trying to hang with like Fail Army and
that
stuff.
was that was YouTube before there was YouTube on TV.
Oh, so that was the fail videos before fail videos.
Yeah.
They're current on Hulu right now. Like
really?
Yeah, and the emoji is literally their logo or whatever is the smiley, the crying face emoji.
Oh, all right.
What was that?
America's AFV or whatever.
AFV, bro.
America's funniest.
America's fucking videos. They're the best.
That's right.
Wait, wasn't it? It was America's Funniest Home Videos, right? But it was still AFV for short.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You just don't question it, I guess.
AFHV is just too much.
It's like
too much. It doesn't flow.
Everybody knows acronyms has to be 3 letters. Or not acronyms, but whatever abbreviation.
Whatever it is. Don't get into science or school
fucking
stuff.
Math.
I'll go ask my teacher wife. She'll yell at me about, you know what an automatopoeia is? I had to learn that this morning. I had to ask. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
AFV. What the
AFV, dude? It's ABC's producing it. And,
so it's Disney's Fail Army.
Yeah,
pretty much, right? The deal. It's an emoji.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's an emoji.
Every day,
They're like, hey, we'll get hip. The kids like emojis, right?
Yeah,
Put an emoji in our logo.
Exactly.
They just celebrated 30 years.
God.
Give it up. People
Yeah,
were sending in
exactly.
actual tapes. Cost them like $4.
How long has YouTube been around? Because that's how many years they've gone too far.
Bob Saget.
Do you think? Hey,
They
so
were the
I think Bob Saget's like a second or third cousin or something.
of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
on my mom's
gross.
side. Why? Have
Well,
you
get
ever
in
heard
on it.
his
He's the
comedy?
comedian, dude.
Yeah. Have you ever heard his comedy?
He's funny.
I really fucking looked into it, but I think he's somewhere down in that tree. You know?
I think so. I should
pee
hit
so
him
bad.
up. Be like, I want to
Yeah.
come do comedy with you. No. Hey, I'm your long lost fucking 17th cousin. You wanna hook me up?
Team up. You want to make me your opener?
I'm kind of offensive too, so it should be fun.
Yeah, Bob Saget was offensive. I didn't get in trouble for some.
Yeah, he was on whatever Full House, and then he's like just super raunchy when he does comedy. So
Yeah.
He lives here, or he used to live here in our home.
Really?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I would know though. He's related.
Yeah. Where'd your cousin live?
Yeah, it's your 14th uncle.
Yeah.
This is just hearsay, allegedly.
Oh, you have to get a DNA test.
Yeah, 24 and me.
Turns out he's got AIDS. That's all it comes back with.
Oh, that's awesome.
Says your DNA is HIV. It doesn't sound
Dead.
good.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. All right, boys, we made it to an hour and 51 minutes.
Yikes.
Right on. Yeah, I like it. We're not quite on the Joe Rogan, 3 hour.
Fuck Joe Rogan.
Hey, easy. That's my guy.
Hey.
4.5 hours.
Everybody's fucking related around here.
I know, right?
We'll get there. Right now, nobody even cares enough to watch it 2 hours, so you know what I mean? Except for Dave.
Maybe we're. Who knows?
They're gonna listen. They're not gonna watch it 2 hours. They're gonna listen.
We talked about you running our East Coast premiere tour. We talked about you producing our circus show that we want, right? Like, this is productive shit that we just talked about.
I like.
We could write this beer off that we were drinking.
This is the
It's a
most
business
productive
meeting.
podcast we've ever had for me, Nick.
You're welcome.
Cheers! I'm excited to hear that.
Cheers! I'm out.
They don't know where the camera's at,
dude. Yeah, and with your comedy and stuff, you could help write all the raunchy, fucked up stuff for the circus.
There you
go. All
go.
is staged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's staged.
Yeah. Or maybe we have a host and you're the host. You know, like maybe it's like the live people goes to, a breaking news, Susan just sucked this person's.
What if it's live? What if it's a mix of live PD and like cheaters? So I just show up. I've been following them around, and I show up, and I'm like, "Hey, are you ready to see the video?"
It's just Clint getting stabbed.
We got stabbed. That was fake. I didn't know that.
Well, Clint can get fake stabbed weekly.
Don't ruin our fucking dreams here. That was real. Yeah. He really got stabbed and thrown off a boat. All right.
He actually got a gunshot at him. Yeah. You know, we could have been there filming it. You know, it would have been riveting footage. Next time.
I bet circus people get shot at all the time by other circus people.
That's circus life.
At least on the white circuses.
Depends on what circus it is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
White is a loose term.
We'll be in touch about that, you know, see what could come to life. Maybe that's our 2021 plan.
There you go.
The whole video, this is circus?
Yes.
That's what it needs to be. This is circus.
The big top. Under the big top. That's awesome. It would be good.
And then in parentheses, this is circus.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Life of the circus. All right. Well, I gotta go be a dad and cook dinner and all that good stuff. Unfortunately,
you're the stay-at-home dad.
today.
Did
Yeah,
you
my
take
wife's
her-
a hair.
Did you take her last name? You sound very progressive.
Oh,
Yes. To be honest, yes.
His maiden name is Rabinowitz, so that seems like he's like the much better option.
Yeah.
we want to have you on tomorrow just to make sure you don't have a black eye.
Yeah, he might.
My story for you. You can make sure. Look out for me.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, and especially if you guys got any projects coming out or anything, feel free to come on and tell our 3 listeners. I'm sure they'd
Hell
love
yeah.
it.
All 3 of you.
He's really selling it. He's selling it hard.
You underplay it. It's all right.
We're in 480p, Clint.
Dude.
That's because you got a fucking Dell.
It's a Lenovo. We went over this.
Might be at the Dunlin Theater. Right?
I'm going to be there Saturday. We're going to have Supercross on the big screen, 480p. All right? Be there.
I'm flying in for that garbage.
Supercross is on nonetheless.
Yes.
And then we play a game. Hopefully Freezy gets the whole shot again, and we play a game called Drink for Freezy. That's every time Freezy gets passed, you have to take a drink. And then also every time the lead changes, you have to take a drink. So the last
That's a fucked up thing because you're already taking 20 drinks essentially.
Yeah, you're gonna black out.
Right?
There was no.
That's why
He's
you
going to get the whole shot, and he doesn't get Freezy's. We talked about him last weekend. He is undercover, the best undercover guy out there in Supercross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he always gets the whole shot or towards the front, and then he settles in like 12th, 13th.
True privateer.
I mean, how respectable is that guy?
He got
It's
9th.
crazy.
He got 9th that night.
Exactly.
So everybody
kinda-
got 8 drinks out of him, and the lead changed 4 times. So there was at least 12 drinks just from lead changes and Freezy.
Nice.
Do you guys play fantasy at all, like Rocky Mountain Fantasy or anything?
Hell yeah. Clint
All right,
does it
hey.
because he's a fucking old person.
I forget to make picks, and then I.
Dude, I'm getting mopped up on that fucking fantasy league.
You always put Vince Freeze as your wild card, and the chances are you're
Every
going to
time.
do well.
Every
You know what I mean?
Dude, I went for fucking Dean Wilson last weekend because I looked at the record and he got 13th or whatever it was every week, like all but one before.
Then you got 7.
Fucked me. Yeah. You should get in the Moto Pimp. Go in the Moto Pimps League.
Oh, we
Okay.
will. On RM? On Rocky Mountain?
Yeah. Moto Pimps.
We'll go on there.
We do Pulp too. We do them both because we're just moto nerds ourselves. So
I'm
Pulp's
getting
like
fucking
intense, you know. You gotta be a little more strategic. I kind of just like for Rocky Mountain, I'm like, I don't know, fucking Tomac, Roxon, AC, and then Vince Freeze.
Could be anybody.
You know?
But Pulp, you got to plan ahead because you can't use people 2 weeks in a row, right?
It's tough.
Clint.
It's fun.
Dom's about to piss his pants. I could see it.
Dude.
Hey, isn't that
So I got 3 beers in me and a bunch of water. You know.
Gotta, hey, do you have any Gatorade bottles around there, Dom?
Oh, I'm chilling. I'm ready.
I only know because I also am going to piss my pants.
Thank you.
See, he's got a little kid bladder. He already peed.
Dude, I fucking, as soon as I got those beers, I fucking just blazed through them because I was dying for a minute.
Yeah, me too.
All right, boys.
All right.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
You guys are great.
Soon.
That was a good time, dude. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Peace out, everyone. Thanks for listening. StrokerIndustries.com, CanvasMX.com, Poison.com.